Okay, guys, I've had a ton of questions in the past and now asking me how I did something on my car. And first off, excuse my mess of a garage. I'm in a one car garage. It's quite cramped in here. Two, my car is tore apart right now. I'm still in the mock-up phase, so all the wiring, please excuse it, whatnot. The last people that owned it, there was a couple kids that thought putting a tired old truck 350 in it made it a race car and started tearing everything out of it. So I'm trying to work my way through that. But I've had everybody ask me about the 4th gen interior in a 3rd gen Camaro and how I did it. So I'll walk you through, and quick before I do, there's a million write-ups on this stuff, and you know, there's a million ways to do this. This is just how I did it. And for all you that are like, oh, it looks like it's mounted like crap, like I said, my car is in the mock-up phase, so I'm just getting everything in there to get it all measured up and make legit mounts and everything else. But here we go. And anyways, let's start off with the center console. Really easy. Take the old one out. When you put it in, 2 bolts in the bottom, line exactly up with the old holes for the old center console. Bolt that in, and then up in the front, it bolts right here to the bracket that goes to the dash. And basically that's it for the center console. Run a couple wires and you got all your little plug-ins and whatnot. Like I said, don't mind this wiring mess. And the dash, it's very simple. Once you get it out, there's brackets right here, and these brackets go all the way up and hook to the top of this. What you do is you cut the bracket right above this hole, and what I did is about dead center of the hole right here, I cut across the top piece of this bracket. It's 2 pieces, you can see. If you just cut along the top, that bracket piece comes off, and then you flex this piece of metal in a little bit, and you can either drill a hole, or I made a little bracket temporarily to actually bolt. This is the bottom frame to the 4th gen Trans Am dash, but I made a little bracket all mounted up here, and same thing right here. You cut it same place and bend that piece in, make a little bracket. And then right where the steering column bolts up, there's little cutouts on that bracket that fit right into there perfectly on both sides. You don't have to modify those holes at all. And then when you bolt your steering column up, you'll bolt that nice and tightly in. Then as far as the top of the dash, this first hole way right here, that's the original dash. The little mount for the 4th gen will bolt directly into that. Lines perfectly up. Then the 2 middle holes, you can see right here, you'll have to drill and either tap or put one of these little brackets in with the, backing the nut, so you can bolt them down. You'll have to do that in the 2 middle ones. And then here on the end, for this one, well, there's a last bracket on the 4th gen dash. I don't have it with me, but I made a little bracket. It looks like a J, so I can bolt one end of the J down, and then the other end bolts to the dash. So it's a bracket. It's got to come out a little bit. Don't think I have that anywhere to show you guys. Well, anyways, and then as far as that top panel piece, or the dash pad as they call it, you'll have to cut it directly in half. Here's a actual panel. Right here. You'll have to cut it right down the center. Maybe trim it up a little bit to fit in the dash right. And as far as the actual dash, like I said, here in the end, this one lines up with the hole perfectly. These two, right over the vents, will have to be new holes drilled and tapped, and this one you'll have to make a bracket because it sits a little up on the car. Oh, and for anybody wanting to do this and care, I have a extra dash up there. Just shoot me a price or whatnot. You know, you pay for shipping. It's kind of big, but perfectly good Trans Am dash, 4th gen, no cracks whatsoever. And now the door panels. These suck. I don't recommend them, but if you really want to do them, they will fit in the channel and slide down. All this, you have to be super careful because when you put it in the channel, it will pull out like that, so you don't want to crack the top of this. You'll have to cut it right here. As you can see, I did a little cutting. I still got to sand a little bit to make it, you know, nice and neat so you won't even tell. And up front here, I took a heat gun, got this nice and warm, kept shutting the door till it closed and, you know, molded in right. So that way it fit, because this door panel is actually longer than the actual 3rd gen door. As far as the bottom, let's see if I can get a good shot of this. Sorry for the quality, guys, on my iPhone. You can see it doesn't come down all the way. This is actually the rubber off the original door panel that I just left there to cover up a little bit. You can see it shows up through. As far as mounting the actual handle and stuff, I can't quite show you on here, but luckily the other door panel is off, so okay. Right about here, just a little bit off of here, you'll have to cut this square hole. This is, you know, you'll have to put the door panel on and line up where you want the handle to see exactly where you need this hole. This bar right here is actually the, yeah, it's the latch to pull the door open. Oh no, sorry, this one is. What I did to the other door is I bent it here to go down, bent it again, bent back up, and then bent it again. Basically making a little U, and that will bring this to here, shortening it so that way you don't have to cut and try to bend this end right here to make it fit the door perfectly. You just kind of U-bend this right here to make it shorter. Same thing with the locking latch rod. Just bend it, make it fit, so that way you don't have to redo the tips of it and make them fit right. Then obviously you'll have to run all the wiring and whatnot, and you'll have to screw the handle to the door. But one little thing real quick that I found out while doing this, you'll have to put spacers behind the handle to bring it up, so that way the window frame right here, when it goes up and down, it doesn't catch the latch mechanism on the handle. Actually, you can see the spacers I put in this side. But other than that, and this is why, I'll show you real quick, because I'm able. But if you look down there, you'll see how the door kind of shows through, how it doesn't fit right. In the back too, there's a spot, and then right here, it's a big notice. The door doesn't quite go right. I mean, I wasn't expecting it fully to, but I'll probably paint this black in here so it's not so noticeable. But other than that, that's kind of how I did the whole conversion. And there's one thing I was wanting to show you guys and ask you guys about. When I pulled the dash out, I'm not seeing the part anywhere, I found a little black box mounted to the back of the original dash. Had like 3 wires coming out, and I was curious. I can't find anything online about it. Wish I had it to show you guys. But it said AC on it, which I would imagine that it's part of the AC, but you know, I can't find anything about it, and the kids had unplugged everything underneath the dash and hacked half of it up, so I don't know where it went to. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, I'll try to find the box and maybe take a picture of it. But if you guys could tell me what that is and make sure it's not important or I'm not going to need it, I'd greatly appreciate it. But yeah, but let me know what you think, or if you have any ideas to help me. Oh, real quick. There's a million different ways to run the vents for the AC and the heat and all that. What I did was I put the original 3rd gen box back in, and actually right here and goes down, and then this whole big piece comes off. There's a hole right here that's tubes that come up to the front. I taped that off because I didn't need it. I'm not going to need it because I plan on putting gauges in the Trans Am vents, just because I think it looks clean. I like it. On the top, you'll have to cut a little bit of the vent right here out. You can see the original vent cut right here for the dash mount to basically sit over it and not distort. Same thing on the other side. And don't laugh at the duct tape. I'll eventually get some plastic weld and clear those up. I was just, you know, mocking everything up like I said. But, and then as far as the ends, I have the original 3rd gen tubes that go on here, come out, and then I use, I guess it's heater ducting to go actually up to the vents. I'm gonna like mock up and make actual like plastic vent tubes and not really use those. Like I said, I was just putting those on there so I can make sure when I run wires and everything else, I don't run them in the way of the vents, so when I actually make the vents and put them on there, nothing will interfere. So anyways, but yeah, if you guys could tell me what that box is, I'd greatly appreciate it. But let me know if you have any more questions.